Now, they survived the Westgate attack and lived to tell the tale. And that's not all. Two men who shared a small chimney to hide from the terrorists now share a deeper bond born of their trauma. Asha Mwilu has that story for us now.
While the Westgate tragedy left many Kenyans with a sense of terror and trauma, there have undoubtedly been some silver lining from this incident that shocked Kenya to the core. For two Westgate survivors, the most unlikely of relationships was born from the terror attack.
2, 3, and...
Justo Otieno, a music teacher at Premier Academy in Nairobi, can now afford to sing and dance. But just 2 weeks ago, his life was hanging in the balance. On that fateful Saturday, Justo was on his way to the Westgate rooftop to offer moral support to one of his pupils, a participant at the children's cookery competition. The same rooftop where there was a mass slaughter by the terrorists of a huge number of children, women, and men. But one phone call from his friend delayed his plans for the event.
As I'm walking towards Nakumat, I decided, because of the noise, something told me go to the washroom, it's more quiet. I was in the ground floor, so I actually went into the washroom. And we opened the first door second, and that's when I was finishing my conversation. All this time I'm just talking to him. So I hung up my call. As I'm just picking my bag to leave, another group of men, like around 10, it was a very huge number of men who walked in, and everyone began ducking inside the toilet booth. As the second door at the washroom is closing, that's when I hear the grenade. And the radio that was playing in the washroom goes quiet. There's this silence, and then gunshots. It's like very sporadic shots, and everyone is... I didn't hear any screams. I could hear the gunshots, but no screams, not even one. So at which point a security guard comes in, removing his uniform. And he shouted at me in Kiswahili, tunashambuliwa, we're being attacked.
That was the moment it occurred to Justo that the situation inside the mall was worse than he had initially thought. But all the cubicles in the washroom were full of terrified men, and none would allow him and the security guard in.
There was a small opening that was leading to the ceiling. So we convinced each other that this could be, I think, our best chance of surviving, because whatever is out there and it's coming, it's going to reach the washroom. That's what we were saying. A few minutes passed, the gunshots are becoming worse. You're hearing more grenades. Fear comes in, and we even begin realizing this thing is big, so we cannot continue hiding in that space. So he goes up fast, we step on some railings. He goes up, I push him. I had to remove my belt to also go through that. It was like 2 pipes, so you have to squeeze yourself in. Then he lay on one pipe, I lay on the other. After around 4 to 5 hours, 2 guys walk into the washroom. They go for the sink. These guys walk out, so I see the 2 of them walking out, and then they come in later, seconds later, and shoot in a tear gas canister. So all the men who are in the cubicles actually now run for the taps. They are coughing and choking, but I could hear everyone is running out. And then there was a silence. And then the tear gas began coming up towards us, the ceiling. I tapped at the security and I told him, let's go down. I think we're going to choke to death. He didn't respond. That's when I think adrenaline came in. So I came down, and then as I'm pulling the door open, there are double doors. I pull the first door, I see blood. I wanted to peep and see whether this area down here is clear. And when I peeped, I saw, I could see them, just bodies, you see somebody's laying down here. The one image which I remember was a mom there's a lady who had laid down and the child was on top. As I'm just wanting to take another step, a guy shouts at me, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" That's when I noticed him. He was actually kneeling at the Westgate entrance, at the gate, but shooting, as in pointing towards the exit, towards where I was coming from. So I looked, I saw, what guys are calling the Arafat. He had this Arafat and he was kneeling. And he shouted at me 2 times, shaking his gun. He didn't fire, not even 1 shot. And so, quickly, that's when the whole terrorism thing comes in. I realized these are terrorists. So I hide back. I knew going back to the washroom would be a bad idea, not only for me, but also for that guy, should he still be alive. And I just walked slowly and I made that right turn. The famous right turn. I think everyone who was being rescued used to come from there. So I turn and I see GSC officers My heart was so relieved.
Justo was relieved to have narrowly escaped death, but a dark cloud hung around his head. He was worried about the security guard he had left inside the mall. So he set out to the security company to look for him. All he could remember was the guard's terrified face, because they didn't have time to introduce themselves.
So he's brought to the office. We look at each other in the HR's office. We stare at each other for like 3-5 seconds. We ask each other the same question. How did you make it out? He also asked, how did I make it out? And I mean, we've become very good friends since.
Dozens of those who were inside the mall during the attack hid together in desperation. Friends, family, and even total strangers. Some survived the attack. Others were not so lucky. But at the end of it all, those that shared the terrifying experience, like Justo the music teacher and Cornelius the security guard, will forever have a unique common bond, born of a moment of terror. Asha Mwilu, KTN, Nairobi.